The Nexus here, reporting to you live for the truth. This video shouldn't have been made yet, because it wasn't time, because things aren't ready yet. But unfortunately, everything's been forced or thrusted forward. In case you haven't noticed, inflation, for example, and or taxes upon different economic, sociological, and or political fucking forms at this point. I digress. The real point of what's going on is that America put certain chemical and biological warfare factories within a 100 to 150 mile radius of the Russian border over the past 30 to 40 years, some of which, yes, were occupied and controlled by Soviet-based mechanisms between the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. But afterwards, Ukraine kind of sold out some of their pieces of military equipment and or other underground factories, let's say. I shouldn't go into much more detail, but the real truth is that there was, I believe, Chelsea Gabber, excuse me if I'm getting her name wrong, but she's the one that actually exposed 28 different facilities that were operating chemical and or biological warfare facilities in and out of Ukraine that were financed by Western organizations, mainly CIA and NSA type organizations. This is only coming to light now that they've been bombed. It only became relevant now that they've been bombed. But you see, that's kind of the point. We have Mitt Romney and other major politicians within our country calling people treasonous or terrorists even for saying these types of things. So, because our government funds a proxy war to start an inevitable war in another country that honestly has sovereign claim to Russia for over 500 years, if you look back through the historical record, we set up a proxy war there. That's completely normal. Do me a favor, America. If you don't fully understand what I'm saying, then understand this, and this alone. Imagine if South Korea, or Russia, or China, or whoever, what if they put biological or chemical warfare factories that were doing research and or development on other different types of variants and or viruses that could lead to mass destruction and mass pandemics / epidemics, just like we've seen with the Wuhan flu. Understand that, and understand what they've created for us, and understand what they've forced us into thus far. And once you see that, once you see to the true truth, you will be able to see why this shouldn't have happened yet. Not because they wanted it to, but because they had to do it in order to stop the will of the people, the will of the sovereign people of the United States of America from finding out the truth. And the real truth is that Trump was the one that started exposing all of this with his tariffs and many other organizational fronts that he attempted to actually force forward within congressional bodies and or representation of political benefits inside the United States constitutional law. And understand that these things were all put forward, were forced forward by him in the beginning. But the real truth is that Trump was only following the will of the American people. Which is why all of this, everything that is happening, not only in Russia, but around the entire world, is inevitable. Whether we choose to accept or deny it is not the question. Whether we accept it and deal with it is how we grow with it and evolve with it. Because we've already waited too long. to do something. Look at the media. Excuse me, I digress. That's not the point of this video. Understand that we, as the American people, have a right and duty, not only, yes, to Ukraine, but to our own wrongdoings, our own endeavors that we, as a collective, not only allowed, but chose to ignore, just to make our lives easier. Because in truth, does doing a deal with the devil really make your life easier? And if you have a hard time understanding what that means, look at your gas prices. May God bless you, and may God bless America. Thank you.